All right, back for the second part of the lesson. This is a good tip. Should have probably shared that before sooner, but I'm sure Mr. Eddie might have had that one of his videos. But just in case, so we're going to go now, we are going to go to page 118. I know a lot of people have been clicking. If you go to the little three lines, so if you go table of contents and we want to be at 118, so instead of just clicking the chapter, once you click the chapter, you then can get the drop down. So if I click on chapter 4, I can then click and go down and then find the pages that I need instead of just going through. All right, this one's a little bit shorter, so hopefully everything went well on the first part. So we have two concepts. We have how does the seismic waves, how do seismic waves work, and what patterns do seismographic data reveal? And the best vocabulary that we only have one more word to add to our lesson. So after we read our lessons, we have just a few activities. First activity that we are going to do is how does the waves work? So after we've read, we'll see the machine, see how the machine works, see the different waves, and we will answer the question. Explain how a homemade one would work. Then the second one is a neat one. If you're a baseball fan and you remember when the Giants and the A's played, they had an earthquake during the World Series. That might be something unique to see, and I'll see if I can find a YouTube of that. So in this scenario, you are going to be an engineer or builder, and you're going to be planning where to put the stadium. And so there's some criteria that you have. And if we were in class, we would probably build something to try to meet the standard. But here we're just going to do the activity. So you can see, you can put the different things like we did on the last one that I had. If you click the box, they'll show you and give you some good ideas. Then the neat thing is, once you get to where you want to build your stadium, you'll drag your stadium and you'll put your stadium and see how that turned out. Then we have two questions. What is the relationship between the locations of past earthquakes and the location of fault lines? So we can look to see what that will do. And then what would be another problem that could be solved by reading that information on the map? So hopefully your stadium does well. So we got two last questions. How does it show how earthquake waves, and what is the main factor in determining the risk of a location might have an earthquake? Now, this one is just for fun. You don't have to do this one because I'm sure you remember I said the last time you don't have to remember all the scales, but I know some of you might want to look at the scales. The Richter scale is the one that most of us are used to hearing in the news and hearing when there's reports. But you can see what the scales are, and you can see the magnitude of the different scales of what the earthquakes that have hit. I thought this was unique. About 98% of Antarctica is covered by ice, which I think most of us knew when we studied that last year in sixth grade. But large shifts in the ice here can cause ice quakes. Did you know that sometimes ice quakes are equivalent to a magnitude 7 earthquake? So I thought that was very neat. And again, this time these questions are just for fun because you don't have to go through the scales, but if it's interesting to you, that'd be something that you'd be in. So we are almost done with what we have for work. We probably only have one or two more lessons before we get to the final project. Again, please go back and check your comments. Please go back and check your emails. If links have not worked like Flash, Make sure you check your email because I know that I've sent out some information. I'm sure Mr. Eddie has too. And remember, help each other. Also, one last thing, there will not be a final test. It will be a final project. So the better that your notebook is, the better that your drawings are, the less work that you will have to do to come up with some of these things for the final project. Again, any questions, contact Mr. Eddie or myself. You can email. We will have different Zoom set up. And for the final project, there will probably be individual Zooms so you can ask questions and show what you have done. We've been doing a great job. Let's keep it up and have a good day.